Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of Living the Earth Wisdom Way. I'm super excited to be here with you all today. And today we are talking about nourishing the self. So, yesterday was a day of remembering who we are, connecting into that truth of who we are in our being. And today we're looking at the next step to that. If you've got any questions as we go, please do type them in the chat and I will try to get to them. So what we're doing today is we're remembering how to care for ourselves in a way that allows wisdom to flow. So one of the things that happens is intuition, earth wisdom, doesn't really speak through depletion. It speaks through nourishment. So this is the subject that we're going to be looking at today. But before we begin, we're just going to have a little smudge like we did yesterday. So I'm just going to light the Palo Santo. And as I light the Palo Santo, I invite you just to take a moment to connect into your breath. We're all in different spaces around the world, and it's so important that we come together, for this session so we're all in the same space. So I invite you to take a moment as I smudge all of you through the airways, through time and space. I invite you just to connect into your breath. Take a moment to arrive into your body. Notice how you feel today compared to yesterday, without judgment. Just breathing into your body. Listening begins with honesty, so allowing that moment of honest reflection with your body as to how it feels. I invite you to take one hand and place it on your heart and one hand on your belly. And just breathing and noticing. With each inhalation, I arrive. With each exhalation, I soften. Feeling yourself landing right here, right now. And I invite you to ask your body, what does my body need right now? And it may be a thought, a feeling, maybe nothing, maybe an image. Just allow that to come up. It may just be one word. What does your body need right now? And breathing fully into your body and into this space. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and typing in the chat, what does your body need right now? What does your body need right now? Love. Beautiful. A stretch. Yeah, a stretch is always a good one, isn't it? Fluids. We had that yesterday, didn't we? Sleep and relaxation. Rest. Relaxation and a hug. Beautiful. A cuddle. I'll give you a cuddle later. Healing, to sit comfortably. Yeah, please do make sure you're comfortable. Healing, a blanket. Peace, detox, rest. Release of tension. Beautiful. It needs calm. Well, hopefully calm will come in this session and you can feel that sense of calm in your being. To be calm, again, another calm. So we've got a lot of rest and relaxation, be calm, emotional release. Yeah, water. Beautiful. So there's lots of things that we all need to bring in that our body wants. And one of the keys is listening. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday, in the remembering, it's also the listening and the taking action, so we can build up that trust again with our body, which is so important, that we will take action. So hopefully those of you who needed a drink have gone and got a drink. Those who needed a blanket have got a blanket. Those of you who need to sit more comfortably have done that, so that you're listening to your body. You're taking action on what it's asked you to do, because that's the most important thing. And like I said yesterday, if a child cries and its needs aren't met, it stops asking. And this is the same thing with our body. So we're coming back into that space of taking action and listening to what our body is asking of us. Super, super important. So when we look at our bodies, when we look at self-care, when I say the word self-care, what does it mean to you? What comes up for you? Type in the chat. What comes up to you when I say the word self-care? Self-love, yeah. What else comes up for you when you hear the word self-care? Nurturing me, forgiveness, self-love, needs met, good food, nourishment, prioritizing, looking after myself time, good food, giving yourself time to recharge, taking time to listen to what our bodies need, rest. Oh, you're all fast typers. Giving yourself time to recharge, prioritizing, putting my own parachute on first, really hard. Yeah, looking after me, listening to what's listening to my needs, and love for oneself, looking after myself holistically, meditation. Whoa, you guys are super fast. Looking after my dear body, relaxation, cleaning, oiling, yoga, connection, caring for my whole body. Beautiful. Some really amazing things that you've all just typed in there. Adventure. Oh, I like that. That's definitely a bit of self-care. So one of the things that I like to think about when I think about self-care is reframing it a little bit. Because self-care can be a bit wishy-washy sometimes, you know? Can be a bit of this general, I need to look after myself, I'm going to have a bath. Well, it's like that's kind of prioritizing yourself, which should happen. But self-care, the way I like to think about it is it's wisdom access. Okay, so it's not indulgence, because often self-care is something that is considered indulgence. It's a luxury, but actually it's wisdom access. So we often think about intuition as something mystical. It's something outside of ourselves, but intuition lives inside our bodies, and the body needs to feel nourished, safe, and supported to be able to speak clearly and also to be able to listen clearly. So when we're underfed, when we're overstimulated, when we're inflamed, exhausted, what happens, and we touched on this yesterday, is our body shifts into survival mode. And survival mode is really loud, okay? Survival mode is like, you know, I've got to live. So it's that almost screaming of your body to hear you. But wisdom is gentle and quiet. So quite often, survival outpowers wisdom. Now that wisdom can cut through sometimes, and it can come through the biggest of noises. But often it's too faint for us to hear until it slaps us around the face and it hands us a big life lesson. But it's trying to talk to us gently the whole time before. But that survival mode is kicking in. So what we need to look at is, if we really want to be connected to this earth wisdom, we need to get our bases covered. We need to make sure that we are not in survival mode. And if we're in survival mode, we come out of it. But it's not something that is our constant state of being. So let's just think about this again. Self-care is wisdom access. If any of you run businesses or you're working lots, you'll probably know that it's in those moments where you stop and you're still and you have that self-care, that wisdom does come through. It's when you actually stop and look after yourself that the creative genius starts to fly again. Because if you're worried about how you're going to keep a roof over your head, how you're going to get through those basic needs, it's very hard for creativity or intuition to be downloaded into your being. So what we're looking at today is how we can really nourish our being so that we're not in that survival mode, so we can hear that wisdom coming through. So what earth wisdom is really teaching us is that nourishment isn't a luxury. It's a prerequisite for listening. So I don't know if any of you ever feel guilty. You know, I often get that guilt when you sit down and you just read a book or you want to do nothing. That guilt kicks in of I should be doing. You know, we're brought up, we're taught in society to be doing all the time. And if we're not doing, we're lazy. Anyone felt that before? Yeah? Lots of hands up and nods. So this programming is designed for a very specific reason. Because if we are busy doing, we are not connecting. We are not remembering. We are not in that sacred flow. So yes, exactly. Relaxation is a necessity. And as I said, it's a prerequisite for listening. That nourishment is not luxury. Time for ourselves is not luxury. It's wisdom access. And once I started to think about this, I was able to, every time that guilt came up when I was not doing anything, I would reframe it. No, this is my wisdom access. This is how I can tune in. This is when the magic actually flows. Because all of the outside noise stops. All of the doing stops. And the being begins. And that is the key to our lives. Exactly. We are human beings, not human doings. Exactly. That's exactly right. So we need to remember this. And that's what we're going to be looking at. So when we look at humans, we've always worked with foods, herbs and plants, and not just for nutrition, but for regulation, for comfort and for connection. So we're just going to take a moment to do a very short little practice of listening to our body. So I invite you to take a moment just to close your eyes. And starting at the top of your head, we're going to scan through our body. Again, no judgment, just noticing. And asking your body, where do I feel supported? And where do I feel depleted? So taking a moment to move through every part of your body. Where do I feel supported? And where do I feel depleted? And then allowing your hand to be placed wherever that depletion is felt in your body. So placing your hand wherever you feel depleted, it may be your shoulders or your head or your belly, wherever it is, allowing your hands to move to that area. And just allowing your breath to move into that space. Your breath as a beautiful golden light of the sun, filling that space of depletion with the energy it needs. And then asking that part of your body, how can this be nourished? What would you ask for to nourish yourself? So asking the area of your body, if it's your shoulders or your neck, what do you need to feel nourished? And then when you've got that answer, giving thanks to your beautiful body for all it does for you. And slowly bringing your awareness back to your breath, releasing your hands and making a note of what came up. And if you want to share on the screen, what was your body asking? Where did it feel nourished and supported? And where did it feel depleted? And what was it asking for when it felt depleted? How did it feel when you put your hands on that area and breathed the beautiful golden light into it? Neck slowing down, belly detox, nourished in the heart, lovely. Asked for sleep and good nutrition. It asked me to lose some weight, fat. For my head, sleep, and mushroom coffee, lovely. Depleted lower back, healing, warmth and massage, detox, need balance. Asked to listen to more music, to sit in silence daily. Shoulders heat while holding movement, eyes depleted, fresh sea air, rest, body needs more silence, belly, detox and superfoods, heart was full, head needs rest and relaxation, I should nap, maybe after the session. Belly nourished, heart space nourished, eyes tired and dry, steam room would be nice. I didn't get anything, but body wants to be held. So you did get something. Your body wanted to be held. So sometimes it isn't a specific area. It's the whole of us that wants to be held. And that's fine too. There's no right or wrong with the answers you're getting. What this is all about is tuning into your body. It's making space for your body to communicate with you. My heart feels nourished and supported. Shoulders carry too much, which I put on myself, giving myself permission to take more time for myself. Weirdly, a negative belief came up. My whole body too needs rest and peace. Legs felt empty, need exercise. Depleted hormones, felt supported in my work with plants and herbs and volunteering, and feel good doing these. Beautiful. So what this is all about is it's that listening. So every day, if you can spend a few minutes, it doesn't take long, just to tune in. What does your body need? Where does it feel good? Because so often we focus on just where it feels bad. And it's so important to tune into what feels good. Where's it working? And then honor and celebrate that. It's great that some of my body feels amazing, wonderful. Because then that impetus gives us the energy to support the areas that need help. So that's really beautiful. Thank you all for sharing those things. So when we're looking at nourishing ourselves, today we're going to be looking at that nourishment through the earth, through the plants. So long before humans tried to think their way into clarity, we worked with plants to help us soften our bodies, to settle, to remember the rhythm. And plants don't shout, they speak softly, they whisper to us, they gently call us. I don't know if any of you have got houseplants and you've had the experience where you're somewhere and suddenly you get this feeling of like, oh, my aloe needs water. Has anyone experienced that before? My plants suddenly shoot into my mind if I've forgotten them and they need watering. And so what's so important is to have the space of listening. They work quietly and subtly through scent, through taste, through warmth, through bitterness, through sweetness, through all of these different things, these senses. They come in and they help our nervous system. They support our body. they're so intelligent. The wisdom of the plants and the trees has such an amazing intelligence that works with our body intelligence. And most of the time it's working without us even being aware. But what's beautiful is if we can start to come into that awareness and come into that co-creation with the plants. Orchid looks good behind you. Eat plants, plant trees. I think that's meant to say. Beautiful. So what we're looking at is when we start to work with the plants, when we start to open up and listen, our nervous system begins to feel safe and our body opens. And when our body opens, listening becomes possible. Again, it comes back to this image of the fist. If we're tense and we're locked like this, we cannot hear properly, we cannot see properly, we cannot feel properly. So it's in this opening of our body that we can start to truly listen and truly reconnect. So different plants do different things. They work in different ways. So some plants nourish our body physically. Some nourish our nervous system. Some nourish our heart. Some are there to help us feel held when life is feeling overwhelming. So earth wisdom isn't about we have to consume it all in one go. It's about choosing what brings us back into regulation. So when we're working with earth wisdom, what this is about is creating a toolkit, creating allies that we have on hand, that we know, that we understand, that we can call upon, or who can call to us when they need us. So I don't know if you've ever had that desire when you suddenly crave something. Your body goes, I need celery, or I need chocolate, or I need mugwort, or I need blue lotus, or I need mushrooms, whatever it may be. The more you work with these different things, and some of you in here have been working on my Earth Wisdom mentorship and the Plant Wisdom mentorship and have worked with me for the last few years. So you're aware of this deepening relationship, so that what happens is your body can go, yes, I need that. Someone said, I needed pineapple earlier, yummy. Yeah. So pineapple, amazing anti-inflammatory, incredible for the respiratory system, really high in vitamin C. So a really beautiful thing, also very good for our digestive system to bring in. But with Earth Wisdom, it's not just about consuming them on a physical level. It's about bringing their energetics into our body. And what's even more incredible is you don't actually have to work with them physically at all for them to help you. We can work energetically with anything because ultimately everything is vibration. So what does that mean? Some of you might be saying, what does that mean if everything is vibration? Well, vibration is sound. Everything is frequency. So even though we feel like we're Juliette or Jackie or Margaret or Sue, we're actually vibration. We're all resonating like beautiful musical notes. And so sometimes we need a different note to come in and harmonize us again because we've gone out of tune, like a piano that needs retuning a bit. And the plants and the trees and the mushrooms and the animals and the crystals, all of the different elements of the earth are there to help bring us back into that alignment, whether it's on a physical level or an energetic level. So when we're looking at these plant allies, when we're looking at creating this relationship, what we're looking to do is starting to understand, to create these friendships so that we know what we need to tap into. So one of the reasons I love growing so many herbs around me is because they're all there then for me to tune into. Love that explanation of being out of tune. Thank you. It's, for me, I'm a very visual person, so I can get these visual references and it makes things make so much more sense. So when we look at, I need to feel safe, I need to feel grounded, I'm going to put it out to you. What kind of things do you think would help you to feel safe and grounded? What do you think, plant-wise, food-wise, would help you feel safe and grounded? Any ideas? Rosemary and sage, yeah, lovely. Any other thoughts? Peppermint, nice. Root vegetables, very good, exactly. Very grounding and earthing. Lavender, lovely. Ground and trees, exactly, getting barefoot on the ground, some wholesome home-cooked food, cacao, lovely, walking on the grass, eating root vegetables, dandelions, lovely, red bush tea. So, you're all so intuitive already. Nettles are great for grounding, exactly, a veg stew. All of these things help to bring us in. Geranium grounds me, lovely, tulsi, lovely, great suggestions there. So cacao is amazing as this beautiful heart bridge between the body and the spirit. So when we're feeling a little bit ungrounded, that's so important. Mushrooms like reishi, chaga, lion's mane, all of these mushrooms are super grounding because they connect us into that mycelium, deep into the earth. Someone said bathing in moonlight, beautiful. We can feel really safe, can't we, when we stand in that beautiful moonlight and feel that cosmic energy coming down into our body. As people said, roots and earthy plants, those strong, pungent, earthy smells like lavender, rosemary, sage is another very good grounding one. So all of those bring us more into our body, more into that state of calm. Geranium's a beautiful one, very good for soothing the emotions. So I'm going to talk about that more on the emotional nourishment, but it's whatever works for you, because that is the magic of the earth wisdom, is we're all slightly different. So slightly different things are going to help to regulate us all slightly differently, which is just a beautiful thing. So then when we're looking at, okay, so what's going to calm my nervous system? I feel grounded and I feel safe. I've had my veg stew. I've stood in the moonlight. I've brought in some herbs that are very grounding and earthing and make me feel safe in my body. And now I need to calm the nervous system, because ultimately this is what happens. We have to feel safe before our nervous system will calm down. So if we don't feel safe and we don't feel grounded, and we're working then with just trying to regulate our nervous system, we're going to be missing part of the trick. So this is a really important part of the puzzle of nourishing our being. The first step is I have nourished my being. I've given myself the food that I need to feel grounded, because ultimately if we're not eating, we start to feel ungrounded. So I've given myself that hearty, grounding food that's going to come into my body and help my body go, it's okay, you're safe. A lot of people put on weight because their bodies do not feel safe, so they hold, okay? So you've got this grounding, you've got this safety, then the nervous system, we can go, okay, now you can relax nervous system. And so someone said reishi for the nerves. Exactly, reishi's amazing. In fact, all the mushrooms work on the grounding. They work on the nervous system. They work on the emotional nourishment. They're working on all of these layers, the medicinal mushrooms. It's super powerful things. Lavender in the bath, beautiful, exactly. It helps calm the nervous system. Chamomile, amazing for the nervous system. Lemon balm is another incredible nervine. So these are nerve tonics, nervines. Valerian, yeah, exactly, very good. A skullcap, oats, blue lotus, yeah. I'm just drinking some blue lotus and butterfly pea flower tea. I don't know if you can see that blueness. It doesn't really convey over the screen, but very, very beautiful. And before this call, I had some of my lotus dreams, which is blue and pink lotus, mugwort, frankincense, myrrh and tulsi. So a mixture of grounding, safety and calming. So it's really lovely. So it's bringing these nervines. Vanilla, another amazing nervine. I want you just to take a moment and imagine that you're smelling some vanilla. Oh, real vanilla, not those terrible scented candles which are super toxic, but real vanilla. Just imagine for a moment that you're smelling vanilla. How does that make you feel, that vanilla, when you smell it? Can you imagine yourself smelling it? How do you feel when you smell it? Type in the chat. How do you feel when you smell that vanilla? Relaxed, calm, happy, I feel delicious, home, heaven. I want ice cream, sexy, hugged, nostalgic, floaty, indulgent in deliciousness, comfort, sweet, calm, lovely words. So you all were able to bring in the vanilla, and this is an example of the earth wisdom. This is the essence of it. We didn't have vanilla, and yet we smelt it in our beings. We invited it into our space. So this is the work. This is the tuning in on this different level, is we're invoking all of these things. You all felt it. If you couldn't imagine it, don't worry. Maybe sit and smell vanilla and then put it down and then imagine smelling it. It's about a muscle memory, and it's developing that muscle memory, and it's okay if you don't get it straight away. It will come. And maybe vanilla's not your one. Maybe something else will come that you can smell. We're going to test this with a few things later. So most people, when they physically smell vanilla, their whole body goes, ah. And I've done it at so many workshops. I've passed vanilla around and you see this instant melting effect that happens with vanilla. It's like, oh, everyone goes a bit floaty and floppy because it's a nervine. And what that means is that it calms your nervous system. So I said real vanilla is very expensive. Actually, the price has just massively dropped because there was an amazing year for vanilla last year. So the price of vanilla the year before was astronomical. And this year it's gone right down because they had a brilliant weather for vanilla. So that's an amazing thing. Someone said, I just put lavender and geranium hand cream on, local producer, yum. That might have meant made the vanilla smell a little bit harder if you've just had that other thing. So where do you get proper vanilla? Well, you can buy actual vanilla essential oils, which are beautiful. So I always carry a vanilla essential oil around in my handbag if I'm feeling stressed, and I'll put it on my pulse points because it instantly drops me into Or you can obviously buy the vanilla beans and you can use them, work with them. You can also buy powdered vanilla, which is the whole of the vanilla just powdered up, and you can use that. So you're not using like a vanilla essence, you're using the proper stuff. And you know, what's really important here is synthetic fragrances aren't good for our bodies. Synthetic fragrances like, you know, vanilla candles and things like this, where they're using a synthetic fragrance, are actually very dangerous and damaging for our endocrine system. So they actually damaging for our nervous system. So we really don't want to be working with synthetic fragrances, just the real thing. So proper essential oils or the real thing. Someone said, I've been smelling vanilla, been extracted organic. Lovely. So you can get that smell and you can feel that nervous system regulation, that So we've got a few things that are helping us. CBD, someone mentioned, which is really, really good as well for helping regulate our nervous system. The whole hemp plant is quite an incredible one because the leaf is so filled with nutrients, as is the seed. You know, it's very, very nutritious, the hemp plant, and very, very good to help us feel grounded, safe, and calming of the nervous system. So hemp in itself regulates us on many, many different levels. So we've got grounded and safety, we've got calming the nervous system, and then we're looking at, okay, what's going to help with our emotional nourishment? You know, sometimes we eat and we crave food, not because we're hungry, but because we feel an emptiness within our being, because we feel this void, this disconnection from the earth. And sometimes when we've had a high, we can come out of that high of connection and we're like, I need food, because we're missing it. Now, it's never gone. We just feel like it's gone. And so food can sometimes come into that place. But this is where we've got to be careful that we're not just eating empty foods to fill us, but we're actually connecting with the energetics of the plant. So what do you think is going to be good for emotional nourishment? Type in the chat what you think is going to be good for emotional nourishment. Rose is beautiful for emotional nourishment. Rose is all about connecting to the heart and opening the heart. Really, really beautiful one for emotional nourishment. Rose is incredible. We're covering Rose in the Earth Wisdom Mentorship. Such a beautiful one. Cacao, lovely. Cacao is all about the heart. Strawberries, yeah, beautiful. Strawberries are a lovely one. Strawberries have that feeling, don't they, of emotional nourishment. Frankincense, love it. Rose or strawberry, yeah. So with the rose and the strawberry, both of them are the colour reddy pink, aren't they? So it's all about that heart opening, which is that emotional availability. Cacao is all about opening our heart. It's that bridge. Damian is another lovely one that you could bring in there. Very, very beautiful for opening the heart, emotional regularity as well. Fresh fruit like blueberries. Yeah, fruit has a beautiful effect on that emotional regulation. And sometimes someone said barley veg casserole. Sometimes having that grounding feeling is super important for that emotional nourishment. So what we're looking at with all of these layers is really we have to deal with the first one all the time first. Am I grounded? Do I feel safe? Is my nervous system able to relax and breathe? And then we can get to the emotions, because if we don't feel safe and grounded, we can try all the things we want to emotionally regulate ourselves, and it's not going to be that effective because we don't feel grounded and safe. It's so important that these needs are met. So if you remember at the beginning when I was talking, what I said was what's so important is that we feel safe. Because if we're underfed, if we're overstimulated, if we're inflamed, exhausted, our body shifts into survival, and survival shouts loudly. Survival overpowers most of the time that intuition. So we have to always go, okay, I'm unregulated. Am I grounded? That's the first thing. Am I grounded? Do I feel safe? If not, what can I do about those things? And I've given you some examples. You know, some of the things that really help me are some of the products I've made. So, for example, you know, my mushroom tincture, this for me is like a godsend. This is a go-to for everything. This is the grounding, the safety, the emotional regularity, the nervous system regularity. My mushroom tincture, I carry it around everywhere, and it's helped me and so many people so much. This is my go-to for most of the time at that first port of call, mushroom tincture. That's really, really helpful. And then for me, with nervous system regulation, it's something like the Zen cacao, which is a really great drink to have, or the Lotus Dreams. As I said, this is amazing. Both of those are so beautiful for that nervous system regulation. And then it's that emotional calming. One of my favorites for that is the Enlighten. That is super powerful. Frankincense, myrrh, schizandra, astragalus, it's mullein, it's a powerhouse. So those are a few things. Also, the All You Need is an amazing thing. All You Need Superfoods. It's a powdered mix that I make, and that's very good for that underfed, overstimulated state, because you can add that in and you're getting that nourishment in really simple ways into your body. And that's really, really important. Can you share a link to your website? Yes, I totally can. I will do that shortly. It's juliettebryant.com, but I will put a link in. And at the end, I'm going to give you all a little gift as well. So when we're looking at this, we're remembering we need to work with these plant allies to bring us back into this balance. Essential oils are another amazing thing, because scent is one of the fastest ways to communicate with our nervous system, as I mentioned with like a vanilla essential oil. So the scents bypass the mind, the thinking mind, and speak directly to the body. And that's why so many of you were mentioning herbs, because herbs do that for us, because they've got that strong smell. Essential oils are the volatile oils in plants. So I always have by my front and back door lots of herbs. We've got rosemary, we've got thyme, we've got oregano, we've got sage. So we've got all of lavender, we've got all of these beautiful smells which we can access very quickly on a regular basis, because the smells are so important to quickly get in there to regulate ourselves. So scent is so important. And that's why essential oils have been used for thousands of years as a regulator, and also as a powerful medicines, you know. Lavender, grounding, calming, soothing, nervous system, sleep. Frankincense, deep presence. I love frankincense. I think that's why I like this Enlighten so much, because the frankincense in there, and it's in Lotus Dreams. In fact, frankincense has that amazing support to our intuition, to our nervous system, to our whole body. It just slows us down. If you haven't smelt frankincense, get hold of some and just smell it. It's like, oh, it's magic. It's one of my favorite things to put on the charcoal incense burner to smudge our house, because frankincense is powerful medicine. Rose, we talked about before. Rose, an essential oil, is that emotional nourishment, that heart regulation. Vetiver, deeply grounding. One of the things I do in my Wild Women retreat days is we make sometimes different essential oil rollerballs. So we have like 30 different essential oils, and I tell people, don't look at what the name is because our brains link to things, but smell them and pick out your selection of your favorite few. And then from that, create your own little perfume bottle that you can roll on, and then look at what you've chosen. But get your mind out of the way and smell, because this is part of what this nourishment is about. Our mind takes over so often. Oh, I should do this, but actually when we allow our senses to take over and we feel and we trust our senses, this is when magic can happen. Same with food. It's all about coming back into the body. So all of the teachings that I'm teaching you are about re-arriving, remembering who we actually are, coming back into this physical body and listening to what is calling it. And plants and scents and smells and tastes are such amazing ways to do that, because your body will taste something and go, no, that's not right. Have you ever had that? You've made something to eat and you're like, because actually it's not what your body needs in that moment, which is so important, to listen to what your body needs, tuning in, reopening that dialogue of what actually you need. So we're going to do another little game, and we're just going to take a moment to close your eyes for a moment and just tune into your body, and just take a moment to imagine that next to you is the plant that you need. Not your mind, just allowing your body to tell you what plant is next to you. And it may be that you smell it, or you taste it, or you sense it. We all work with our intuition in different ways, and there's no right or wrong. It may be just that the word pops into your mind. But allow this plant to come into your body. And as this plant comes into your body, I invite you just to feel what change happens when you feel supported by this plant. So just allowing this plant to move through your body. And just feeling how it feels to be in the presence of this plant. And then giving thanks to this plant and bringing your awareness back to now. And taking a moment to write in the chat what plant it was and what it felt like in your body. Someone said the more we listen and honour our inner intuition, the more we strengthen the signal like a muscle. The more it's used, the stronger it gets. Ginseng, someone said, I got a boost in my privates. Rosemary, shoulders dropped. Lovely. Peony felt cleansing. Tobacco felt healing. Lavender was calming. Rosemary, ancient wisdom and maturity. Geranium supported, lifted, happy. Rosemary, companion. Nettles, I could see them. They made me burp. Nettles, stronger. Lemon balm, a calming feeling. Beautiful. Jasmine, relaxed, love, supported. Nettles, wild and free. Lemon verbena, soothed, enlivened. Beautiful. Rosemary, memory. Mint felt calm and invigorated. Prickly pear felt calm. Amazing. So you've all had this experience of the plant that you need just coming to you like that. Now, it may have come in a feeling or a word or a smell. It doesn't matter. Because what you're doing is you're connecting to that earth wisdom, to the plant wisdom. You're inviting it into your body and you're allowing it to start working on you. And we have access to this 24/7. This, for me, is like, this is the revolution. You know, the earth is there. It's there for us. And this is really the essence of all the work I do. It's why I make the products I make. It's why I teach what I'm teaching. It's why I've created the Earth Wisdom Mentorship. It's why I'm doing all of this, because I know the power of the healing that comes when we connect back into the truth of who we are. So for many people, working daily with plants like this in this tangible way, either by physically consuming them, is perfect because it creates rhythm. It creates nourishment that the body can trust. It's not about us doing more. It's about letting support in. And for me, if we can work on the physical and the energetic, this is just even better. So when I make all my products, when I create them all of them hold this energy of not just being the physical, but being the energetic elements of those plants as well. So that what we're able to access is the plant wisdom in everyday life and not just in ceremony. But if we are making, let's say we're making ourselves an awaken. Look at this new packaging as well. Isn't it cool? For any of you who've seen it before, I'm so excited by this new packaging. These tubes, I love it. When you're making it, you can do it just as a food, or you can take it to the next level and go, you know what? I'm going to call in the energetic spirit of all of the things in here to support me. And I'm also going to give thanks. Reciprocity, gratitude is the key to everything in life, I believe. It's what makes everything tick, is that reciprocity. If we can be in that space of gratitude, I'm so grateful for all of the medicine, all of the plants, all of the wisdom that's all around me. And I invite it into my body to work with me. And I give great thanks for that. That's so important that we can connect into that we can remember that the support is there. So one of the things about the Earth Wisdom Mentorship that I run, the work that I'm teaching, is that we spend time really building up these deep, real relationships with the plants, with the mushrooms, with the trees, with the animals, so that we're learning how to work with them, with our body, with our nervous system, in our life, so it integrates in over time, so we can really learn that deep listening and that deep self-trust again. So we're going to do a short little meditation before we finish, and then I've got a few practical tips for you all before the session finishes. Time just flies, doesn't it? I could talk for days and days and days on this subject. So I hope you're all enjoying it. So we're going to do a little meditation to really ground in this nourishing energy into our bodies, and then a few more tips on how you can integrate this stuff in before we end the session today. And then at the end, remind me if I forget, I've got a little present for you all who have been on here. So someone said, mushrooms have been coming into my reality since last year. Bought garden ornaments, cushions, blankets, love them, need to eat. Yeah, look, you can see my lovely mushroom cushion. I'm for some people, they know me as the Mushroom Queen. I love mushrooms. I wrote a book on it, 7 magical mushrooms. If you've not read it, do check it out on my website. Mushrooms are amazing. Okay, so getting yourself comfortable and just allowing yourself to settle. Just allowing all the words, the feelings, the knowledge to settle in your being. Coming into that deep space of quiet. And just tuning into your breath. I like you to imagine that your body is land. It's a piece of land that's been worked hard. Maybe overworked, maybe not. But we're about to nourish that land. So this beautiful field or forest that you are, the nourishment is arriving first in the form of the rain, soaking into the dry soil. Feeling that beautiful rain, hydrating all of that soil that is you. And then feeling all of the minerals being replaced onto that soil naturally. A beautiful layer of compost, vegan organic compost, being placed on top of you. All of those minerals sinking into you, seeping into your cells, soaking into your body. So the water has hydrated that soil. The compost on top has remineralized your being. The sun shines down on you, filling you with those golden rays of the sun. That warmth, feeling that warmth soaking through, that golden light soaking through all the layers of your being. Feeling that land that is you coming back to life. Feeling that electromagnetic charge returning. Feeling all of those components that's needed to grow life, to grow creativity, to sustain you, all coming back into your being. And as this land fills up, so you feel a deep softening within your being. And you notice plants beginning to grow again. Maybe they're flowers, maybe they're trees, maybe they're mushrooms, maybe it's a mixture of a beautiful permaculture forest garden. And as you feel that fight going, as you feel the stress soaking away from your body because you've given it the nourishment it needs, I invite you to ask the question, what becomes possible when I am nourished? What becomes possible when I am nourished? Let the answer arrive slowly. Listening doesn't come from effort, it comes from care. Feeling that nourishment through your body. Feeling the possibilities opening and expanding. And slowly coming back to your breath, giving thanks to your beautiful body and all the elements that recharged you. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and making a note in the chat of what becomes possible when you're nourished. How did that feel? Could you feel all of that nutrients soaking back into you? Everything, lovely. I grow, clarity, beautiful, thrive, limitless. Wow, what amazing words. My body working at its optimum. Clarity, determination, everything full, empowering the younger generation with earth wisdom. Nice. Peace. Clarity, determination, unstoppable, anything and everything, especially weight loss. My body working to the optimum, limitless and unstoppable, back to self. Lovely. Left with the feeling that life is limitless. Notice someone else said the same word too. It is. That is the thing. It is limitless. It's open to everything. And we have the resources. We just have to tune into them. That is the magic. Imagine myself as the earth maiden at Helgen and felt it will help me be a better friend and teacher of plants and crafts. Beautiful, content, lovely. So this isn't a complicated thing. We all think so often healing has to be complicated. It's got to be difficult. It's got to be really hard. It's not. It's a beautiful journey of remembering. We have it all within us. It's all around us. We are the earth and the earth is us. And so when we can nourish ourselves like this with the elements, when we nourish ourselves, we also nourish the planet. It's that micro-macrocosm. What happens here happens all around. So it starts with us. Peace starts with us. And it spreads out and ripples from there. So I want you to choose one thing for the next week that you're going to do. Whether it's that you have a warm drink taken slowly each morning in a space of gratitude and reverence, whether it's that you turn to a plant, herb or mushroom ally energetically or physically to bring in, whether it's that you are grounded on the earth every day, you put your feet on the barefoot on the earth, or whether it's you pause before you eat to have gratitude. Something I invite you to do as a nourishment practice. What one thing are you going to commit to do as a nourishing practice every day for 1 week? It might be that you want to have a cacao ceremony. Oh, hug a tree, nice. Every day for a week. I am blessing and drinking a relaxing herbal tea every evening. Sit in silence, lovely. So commit to nourishing your body. 10 minutes of yoga daily. I'm going to use rose oil in a rollerball. Take some ginseng. So commit to that nourishment. Smell a different smell each day. Love it. Gratitude meals. Beautiful. A warm herbal bath every morning. Oh, it's one of my favourites. Epsom salts, essential oils. Every morning I lie in my bath and it starts my day in that bliss. Smell my essential oils more. Yeah, they're amazing. We have all these tools. David Wolf, who's a mentor of mine, said, go shopping in your house. We've got so many things in our house that we forget about. Go shopping in your house. Nourish yourself every day. Make that commitment to your body every day to do something to support you. Really, really important. And what it's about is forming that intention. It might be that you want to bring in something for your digestion and absorption. It might be that you want to support your emotional resilience. Whatever it is, make a commitment. Lovely ideas. Thanks, guys. Yeah, beautiful ideas, aren't they? Really lovely. So what we're touching on here is the listening, the nourishment, the regulation. This is all the foundations of Earth Wisdom. And I'm really, really excited. We've got one more session in the Earth Wisdom that we're currently on. And then February 3rd, we start the next Earth Wisdom mentorship. And there are 2 levels of it. The level of the training so that you can teach this to the others, or just the level of this is your personal development. So really, really exciting that is going to be starting. If anyone wants to know more about it, I'm going to be talking more at the end of tomorrow's session about it. But if you want to message me, you can, and we can have a chat. So today, really what we're looking at, we've got the listening, we're making time, we're bringing in that nourishment, we're making sure we feel safe and grounded, we're making sure we feel supported. We're making sure we make a commitment. Oh, I can't see all these messages. There's loads of them. Sorry, I've just missed quite a few messages as I was talking there. They've all just flashed up. But we want to take that time to really commit to ourselves, to opening up that relationship with ourselves, whatever that looks like. Whether that's with me, whether that's just with yourself, whether that's with someone else, doesn't matter. But it's about making that commitment to yourself, covering these bases. And I'm really excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow we're looking at how we can really bring in wisdom and clarity so that we can live and act from this place in the real world, how we can apply this to everyday life. And hopefully you've had tips on that today, but how we can really integrate all of this wisdom and bring in the earth wisdom even more. And I said I had a gift for you all, and I do. So I've talked a little bit about a few of my products. Some of you asked for the website. If you use the code EARTH, capital EARTH, EARTH, then for this week until Sunday, you get 20% off my website. This is only for you guys who have been on this. I'm not offering it to anyone else. So it's a special gift for you all for being here as a thank you. And Giles has put in the link to the Earth Wisdom Mentorship as well. We're going to be talking more about that at the end of tomorrow. If you want to know more about that work and how you can deepen your relationship, then we will be talking about that then. And I've got a few people tomorrow who are on my current Earth Wisdom Mentorship who I might rope in to talk to you about it if they're on there. The code is EARTH. So you can use the code EARTH to get 20% off. And the Earth Wisdom Mentorship, I've put it on a real special deal at the moment. There are also bursary places because I do want to make this accessible for people. So it's on a special offer at the moment. But if you can't afford that, just message me and we can talk about what you can, because I do want to make this accessible for people. This isn't about money. Obviously, we need money to support our lives, but this is about getting that connection back out there of the earth. So do drop me a message and we can have a chat. And I hope you have enjoyed today, and I hope you've got a lot of wisdom from it. I'm going to turn the recording off. If anyone's got any questions briefly, then you can ask them once I've stopped the recording, in case you don't want to ask them